Good morning, stamping friends. Oh my gosh, it looks like I don't have a shirt on today. I got my coffee. I know it's backwards, but my Ray Done Create. So I'm going to be in my happy place today, but I'm so glad that you're joining me. I got to step back because I don't want it to look like I don't have anything on. So anyway, thank you for joining me today. It's so good to be with you all, and I'm happy that you're here. My name is Lorri Heiling, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And as always, I'm excited to share more projects with you. Just a little bit about our weekend. We had a paintball tournament this weekend. In case you didn't know, my son is obsessed with paintball. In fact, he plays it competitively, and my husband manages the team. So I am a paintball widow. Who would have thought this little birthday party in 5th grade for Braden would turn into this whole obsession? But anyway, that's their happy place, and they do this almost every single weekend and then travel all over the United States to compete. So we had some people that came in for the tournament that happened here in Scottsdale this weekend, and they stayed with us, and then we had a big barbecue for the team on Saturday, so it's just kind of been a whirlwind. But I have to ask you, have you ever known a paintballer? I don't know, it was a life changer in our family because seriously, they do it every Sunday, and then sometimes Saturdays they have practices. So, but it really is their passion, and I just don't understand the thrill of it because Braden can hardly get out of bed because he's so sore the day after paintball. And then he has these little perfectly round bruises all over his body from getting hit from paintballs. And he even wears gears, you know, they're out there in 100-degree weather, like you can't even see their skin because they're so geared up. And so anyway, I just thought, how can they get a thrill out of this? I just don't understand the passion that they have for this sport. But then I started comparing it to like my passions and stamping, and I'm like, okay, I get that. You find your thing and it's your thing. So I understand, and now Saturdays and Sunday mornings when they practice, they've become my little happy place, and they go do their thing, and excuse me, I'm in my happy place doing my stamping and crafting. So I've really come to enjoy that time when I can do that. It's carved out with no distractions. I can do a video and there's no interruptions, and so it's turned out pretty good. The only problem I had was we normally go to church as a family, so we just had to switch that up and go Saturday night. Luckily in Arizona there is one church that is similar to how we believe, and we just go to that church on Saturday night. So we just changed things up for a bit. So anyway, but the good thing about stamping is that I can get out of bed the next day after stamping. I'm not sore, and I don't have bruises all over from stamping. So anyway, well, enough silliness here. Let's get started with today's project, and thanks again for joining me. Oh, by the way, don't forget there's a clearance sale refresh. So check out my website and go to the clearance rack, and you'll find some goodies discounted there. All right, let's start. Before we start on today's project, I just wanted to review with you the In Color Club that I'm hosting. And each month, May through September, you will receive one of the following products in one of the new colors. And each month you'll get one of all these. And after 5 months, you will have the complete set of new In Colors. Now let me show you in person the colors. Aren't they pretty? The colors are Fresh Freesia, Polished Pink, Evening Evergreen, Soft Succulent, and Pale Papaya. Oh, I just love these. It's really a nice assortment. And if you're in my In Color Club, you will get one of these charts that have all of our In Colors. These are the 5 new ones, and then these are carrying over. So this is just nice to refer to, just so you don't have to pull out your cardstock all the time to see what color matches what. So that's just a little tool I have. And then let me show you the product that you'll be getting. The first thing, I'm just going to show one color though, so I didn't have to drag everything out. You'll get the full pack of cardstock, and I'm going to show you everything in Evening Evergreen. And you will get one ink pad. Maybe I'll just stack them here on top of it. One ink pad, one refill. Oh gosh, I didn't grab that, but this is what they look like. You all know what the refills look like. And then you will get the Stampin' Right marker, and I will just pull out the Evening Evergreen or whichever color I pick for the first month, and you'll get one of those. And then 2 blends. You'll get a light and a dark in each color. But like I said, it'll always be one full pack of the same color. And then the jewels, I haven't opened the pack yet, but here's the Evening Evergreen, and they're just really pretty. They're 3D, and they're kind of like chiseled on the end, kind of like a diamond shape. And there's 2 different sizes, the larger and small. And then what I'll do is I'll just cut them in strips, and you'll get that one color. 8 sheets of designer series paper. Now this is one of those products that got stuck in shipping, but I want to show you, this is the Subtles, but at least you can see the print of it. They're really pretty. They're so different than any other ones that we've gotten. And so I'll show you all 4 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I will be using one of these in today's project, but like I said, I don't have the actual new in colors in 6x6 designer series paper because they're having trouble with the shipping of it. Then you'll get a bolt of the 3/8 inch open weave ribbon, very pretty and nice and sheer, but yet you can see the actual color on the edges because it's darker there. And then you'll get 4 ombre gift bags. Again, I can't even show you in the catalog because we aren't allowed to show what's inside the catalog, but they're really pretty. And each month you'll get 4 of whatever color you're on. And then also with the shimmer vellum, that got caught in shipping, so you'll get 1 6x6 inch sampler square. And so you can just check it out and see if you like that. I think it's going to be really pretty. It looks like it in the catalog. And then I'll also make you a hand stamp card featuring the color that you received that month. So the deadline on that is May 1st, so that's not too far off, but make sure that you register, and I won't collect payment till the end of the month. And the pricing structure is like this, $60. That includes priority mail shipping, which is 2 to 3 days, and that's each month. Or if you are local here, I live in Cave Creek, which is by Phoenix, Scottsdale, and Cave Creek. It's $55 for porch pickup. And in the last month, you will get an added bonus for free, and these are the loose flower flourishes. These are so cute. I love the 2 sizes, and they're like hard plastic, and you just stick them on with liquid glue or a glue dot, but they're really cute. And the colors are polished pink, pale papaya, and fresh freesia. All right, that covers all of that. Let's get to our project now. I'm going to show you today's project in a little bit different order. I would show you the card, but I don't even have it created. I just have it all cut out in front of me. So I'm hoping it comes together how it does in my mind. You know how that goes sometimes. But let me show you in the catalog what it looks like first, because everything's laid out here. It is on page 67. It's called Well Suited. And I'm going to tell you that this set is carrying over. However, if you get it before May 4th, you can get the bundled price, which saves you 10%. So you will want to get these now because in the next catalog, they will be separated and not bundled. So you'll have to pay the retail value here. But if you get the combo, let's see, how much it's $66 for both of them. So that's a good deal. Every little bit helps. So that's the set that we're going to use today. I thought with Father's Day coming up, I would do that. And I'm first going to show you all the colors and what you need to cut out. The first one is just Whisper White, and this is the thick one. And this is 4 1/4 by 11, and then you will score it in half on the long side at 5 1/2 inches, and then just fold on the score line. You can see that I did that already. And then we are going to take this little die and cut out white, and this is going to be the collar. All right. The next pieces are, I took designer series paper in the neutral color, and these are the dies that we're going to use. The first one is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, which will go right in front of the card, and I already die cut it, but what you'll want to do is just place it in the middle here, and you might want to peek and see. You can see that the cutting line does not go all the way up to the edge of the die, so you'll want to place it up about maybe 1/8 to 1/4 inch like that, so that it cuts all the way through. If it doesn't quite go up after you cut it, just snip it off so it's loose like this. All right, and then the next one is going to be the lapels, and this is pretty basic. You'll just set that on top and cut that out of the same. And then there's a little pocket here, and that's just going to fit like that. All right, that's for our grays. This is the basic gray, so it's the darker of the grays. And then I took basic gray cardstock, and I put this little die. What's nice is you get 6 little buttons with one roll through the die cutting machine. And what I did was I took our foam pieces, and what you do is you cut a little piece of your cardstock and then the same size piece of the foam, and then take off one side. They're sticky on both sides, so you'll take off one and stick this on here, then put this on top and run it through your your die cutting machine. Take this off, and then we can just pop these dots out because they cut all the way through, and this is going to make the little buttons on the suit stick up higher. And then you'll see there's another side here that you take off. and now it'll be sticky on there. That way you don't have to cut tiny little dimensionals. So we'll be using those later on again. And then the last pieces that I cut are the tie and the little knot of the tie. And I did these in Highland Heather, which is the kind of the lighter purple. I would have used our new In color, but I don't have that designer series paper. So pretend this is Fresh Freesia, which is this lighter one. Wouldn't that be pretty? If you can believe this, I actually Googled what ties go with gray suits. And the first one that caught my eye was purple and white. So that's what we're doing. Okay, so we cut out one tie, one tie knot, I guess you'd call it. We're going to put that on top there. But you can see I cut 2 extra things. And what I did was I just set this on my designer series paper, and I just cut the very tip of the tie off, and I did 2 of those. And I'll show you what we're going to do with those in just a bit. But let's get started with the card. All right, we're going to start with the card base and the card front. And we're just going to add some liquid glue. Multi-purpose liquid glue. That's a famous, or that's the technical name. Some people call it green glue because it has a green cap. But I like to use, when I have to kind of fiddle with where it's going to set, I like this because it doesn't dry immediately, and that way you can like get it lined up and get it in the center and stuff. So let's do that. And it should be exactly the same size of your card front, and if it isn't, you can always just trim off a little bit of the edge or on top or whatever. So that's going to be the card base here. Remove that. The next thing we're going to do is grab our ink. I'm using basic gray, and we are also going to take just a little sponge dauber. These are really handy when you have small areas, and what I want to do is just ink it up a little bit, and I'm just going to shade the very edge of the lapel. And the reason is because you want to make this stand out a little bit. And I'll show you, I'm going to do one first and then show you the difference when you don't do it. So let's just go on all these edges and just kind of ink it and just rub it kind of away. And it's just going to give a tiny bit of shading on those edges. Now let me show you when we put it on here, do you see how this side really blends in? You can't even see it really when it's on there, but when you shade it, it has a little bit more definition, and so it's going to stand out a little bit more. When you do tone on tone, sometimes you have to do a little bit of shading, but that's all right. It kind of looks more 3D-ish when you add a little bit of shading. And like I said, for the smaller items that you have to go in and out of little corners and stuff, these little daubers work really good. I think you get 10 in a pack or something. And some people label theirs and they have 1 dauber per color. You can rinse them out if you want to wash them. I usually just kind of stay in the same tones, like I'd use maybe black and grays and stuff, and that way you can just kind of use 1 dauber per kind of color family. All right, that's pretty good. And while we're at it, let's just go ahead and do the pocket too, because the pocket's going to have the same effect. It's going to kind of blend in on that, and we want it to stand out more. So just go around that really quick. All right, one more side. All right, that looks good. Now, I want to make this stand out even more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use dimensionals on this. And I just think it gets a little bit lost in the suit coat because it's that plaid pattern. So it's just going to make it stand out a little bit more, but you wouldn't have to do this. And let's try, actually, you grab my scissors. I'm going to trim this one in half, and that way we can get way down to the point here. The point of the lapel. I'll show you what I mean. See how we can get way down in there. 1 and 2. Whoops. And it sticks to nails. All right, that's pretty good. Now, when you place this on the card front, you're just going to kind of match up. I want the top to hit the top and the bottom to hit the bottom. Whoops, but take your tabs off, otherwise it will not stick at all. Minor details. And one more here. All right, we got it, I think. No? Okay, sometimes my nails are beneficial and sometimes they get in the way. All right, so I'm going to start on the right side. Oops, can you see this? Sometimes my head goes in the way. I just start with one side, go down the front, and line up those 2 edges in there. And now let's do this side. like that. Okay, that looks good. And now we're going to put let's put the pocket on next. Now I'm going to show you what I did with these little purple pieces. We're going to grab Highland Heather because that's what color DSP I used. And we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab a separate dauber and we're just going to ink just a tiny bit on the edge there to make it stand out. I probably should have done this beforehand, but you can see how I do it in case you haven't used daubers before. It's so simple. Just rub it on the edge to make it stand out. And then let's do the knot, especially because that's going to be pattern on pattern and it's the same pattern. So that definitely needs to stand out. And the last one, we're going to do these tiny little ends of the tie. Just need to do the top part. Can you guess what those are yet? If you've seen pictures on Pinterest, you can see this has been done before. Plus, I think it was like this in the catalog. So what we're going to do is take our glue again and just put a little bit on the bottom here. Whoops, we're going to glue this and make the little scarf in the pocket. We'll pretend like this is maybe a wedding tux or something. And then let's do the same thing with this one. Just tuck that behind and maybe up just a tiny bit like that. All right, now we're ready for dimensionals on the back of this. And I'm going to just use 2 larger ones. I kind of use both sides of dimensionals. Both sizes, I should say. All right, now let's place this on the front. And let's go, how about right about here? And we're going to go way over to the edge. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is add the collar to this. And here's that white collar that we made. And all you want to do on this one is put 2 dimensionals. You don't want to fill this up with dimensionals because remember, you need to tuck a tie underneath here. So if you put too much glue or adhesive on, you're not going to be able to stick it under there. Now I'm going to hold this up because I'm trying to center it while I'm looking at an angle. And these you can maneuver left and right. They're barely held together by a tiny little width of cardstock there. All right, now it's time to put the tie on. I think we're going to lay the tie flat, which means just put regular glue and do it right on the card front. Like this. We got to tuck it underneath. And you know what? I bet my dimensionals might be in the way. I think they are. All right, so you know what we do? We take my spatula tool and just lift it up a little bit. Actually, it's not tucked down. I just need to get the glue underneath there. All right. Try this again. You know what? We should have put the tie on before we put the lapel on, but let me see if I can tuck this under. So let me show you what I ended up doing. I ended up having to take my little spatula tool, and it took me a little bit because I should have really put the tie on before I put that. So hopefully you caught that before you started assembling yours. And I really didn't want to cut out another piece of designer series paper because, as you can see, this took up almost a whole sheet. So anyway, I fixed that. I just lifted the edges and tucked the tie in. So learn from my mistakes. All right, now we are going to put a dimensional on the back of the tie, and it should be just about the perfect size, so you don't have to trim any of it down. And we're just going to tuck it right underneath here, under the collar, and have the wider side under the collar like this, and then just put it right on top of there and have the bottom edges matching. Let's see, that looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit cockeyed. There we go. All right. We have the front of our card done except for the buttons. So I'm going to grab 2 of the buttons. Let's see. I pulled them off of that little foam thing that I showed you, and we're just, because they have sticky on the back side already, we're just going to stick those right on there. I think I wouldn't do the plaid. That's going to be overkill on the plaid. Let's just make those the plain basic gray cardstock like that, and see how they puff up so nice. So they give that 3D look again. And then the last thing we have to do is just stamp our sentiment. So I think I'm going to use basic gray for this. And I don't know how you guys like to put your stamps together, but as you know, they come with sticky like a sticky sheet like that and you just peel them back and put the stickers on so you can see. Well, some people prefer not putting those stickers on, and just because this foam is actually pretty sticky. So what I'm going to do is just make sure that it's going straight, and I'm just going to stamp this in the center and of the inside, and then this will make a great did you see all the sayings? You can do birthday, Father's Day, world's greatest dad, you're the best. So there's lots of ways that you can use this, even if you don't have a dad anymore. You know, there's still other sayings you can use. And then we're just going to put that right in the center. Have a happy Father's Day, handsome. This one I will be given to my husband, so I have to hide this one. Sometimes he peeks in my room to see what I've been up to, but I'm going to have to hide this so he doesn't see it. All right, there's our finished project. How do you like it? I love gray and purple together. I think that looks nice. So that's our project for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And remember, if you order $35 or more from me and use the host code, you will qualify for Creative You. And I'm just finishing up April's projects. I do have club this month. And then let's see, if you get your order in by today or even tomorrow, I will include the projects that we're making this month in with that. Normally the deadline is the 10th, but I like to keep it the same every month, but sometimes, you know, my clubs fall a couple days later or before. So if it's too much later in the month, then you will just roll over to May. But if you get in this in by today and tomorrow, then you can get in on this project. Well, not this one, but we did use this set, but it's a different project using the handsomely suited stamp set and then the coordinating dies. Last thing, make sure you check my blog and my website, because there's a clearance rack update, and so there's new products on there, so you're going to want to check that out and take advantage of the sales, because a lot of products are retiring and so they put them on sale. Well, thank you again for joining me, and if you see anything you like, be sure and use this host code. This is for April. I would appreciate that. And have a great week, and we will see you on Friday morning again. Bye-bye.